Hey, I'm Joy, daughter of Marine, chain smoking truth teller, and your host of Pandora's Box. Around here, we curse like sailors, cry like toddlers, and heal like fucking warriors. This is your safe space to say the weird thing because life's not rated. I've lived through divorce, addiction, grief, and caregiving, and I'm still here. So are you. Whether you're driving home, hiding the bathroom from your kids, or just trying to feel anything, you're not alone. Open the box, let the truth out, and let's sail through this shit together. All right, y'all. Today's episode wasn't planned necessarily. It actually fucking found me. And honestly, it hit in a way that I felt like the universe was tapping me on the fucking shoulder and saying, "Hey, Joy, pay attention. This one's for you." This week, I took my niece to see the movie Wicked, and somehow a little movie night turned into a whole therapy session for me with glitter, green witches, and truth bombs. What hit me the hardest was the idea that sometimes you do good and people still see the wicked in you. Sometimes you say no, set boundary, choose your fucking self, and suddenly you're the villain in someone else's story. And you know what? Let them. Let them. Because this year, I'm done with other people's narrative of my life. I'm done letting anyone else hold my pen. And I'm definitely done letting someone without a fucking driver's license drive my emotional bus. So the movie night actually came up all of a sudden. I was really bored on a Saturday. I wanted to go look at Christmas lights with my nieces. And they were like, well, we'll find out. So my oldest niece, my middle oldest niece, went to the youngest niece and she was like, Annie wants to know if you want to go to look at Christmas lights. This is something we do weekly during the holiday season. Be honest with you, it's one of my favorite things to do. I am always geeked out when it comes to Christmas lights. Anyone that does, oh gosh, Griswold said that external illumination, I think that's what it was, the scene. By the way, Christmas Vacation is one of my favorite movies, regardless of the year, the month, day, time. I'm always geeking out on Christmas Vacation. So then, she texts me back and says, Annie, no, I have a headache. Okay. So I'm just like, all right, what do I do? I had this whole plan. I'm very much about plans. And matter of fact, if I can't do something as planned, I don't get butthurt. I don't throw a big ass tantrum, but it kind of it steers me in a very not so great place. So then I was like, okay, what am I going to do? All right. Yeah, I could go drive around myself, look at Christmas lights. I could do that. But I'm like, fuck it. Let's go see Wicked. So I text my middle niece and I said, hey, I just looked up Wicked. It's playing at the movie theater here. I said, let's go see it. So she's like, yes, I want to see it. This will be fun. We go. And at first, we're standing in line, we're waiting. There's really nobody in front of us, but the two people behind the concession stand was sitting and they were conversing with each other on their smartphones. And I don't know what they were doing, doesn't matter. And so they finally acknowledge us. They come to the actual cash register. They ask us what movie, and I said, 2 for Wicked, please. And then they talked about concessions, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm on this diet or change of life, however you want to put it. I want some popcorn. They're like, how much butter? I'm thinking to myself, do I really need the butter? I'm like, fuck it. I'm getting the butter. And then salt. I'm a big fan of salt. So we pay for it and we're heading to the fountain area. And what really made me upset, I'll be honest, they have a change of management and they no longer serve my favorite beverage, which we learned last week is Coca-Cola. And that's what I'm drinking again today is Coca-Cola. Fun factoid, I just got done with work about 15 minutes ago. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do my podcast today because this is Thanksgiving week. And I have a lot to be thankful for, especially this Coke. I'm going to get a first sip vibe. I tell you, it just keeps getting better. I, honest to gosh, don't know what I'd do without a Coke. Now, I am diabetic and I shouldn't be drinking this high sugary sweetness, but I actually lost, as you well know, over 140 pounds When I was diagnosed, I was almost 400 pounds, and then I lost basically half of my circumference. So didn't have to take pills. I don't take insulin. So it's basically weight management and good choices. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm drinking Coke as I slam it down again. Oh, it's so delicious. So here we are. I'm irritated. I asked my niece, I'm like, hey, all right, they don't have Coke. What pop do you think I should drink? And I was like, Crush with Orange Crush, nothing too exciting. If it was Strawberry Crush, I'd have been in without even asking. And there was other Pepsi products, and then I saw Dr. Pepper, and she's like, "You gotta get the Dr. Pepper." So I get the Dr. Pepper, and we're now walking into the hallway, and we are now in the movie theater. Now, we're in a small movie theater, and I'm very observant. What I do for a living, obviously, I'm director of operations for the company I work for, so attention to detail is something that I have implemented a part of my life. I even do it not knowingly sometimes. So here I am. I'm like, where are the movie? Like, where are the trailers? I'm used to seeing trailers, and they're like, my niece, she was like, Annie, they don't have those anymore. They only play a few now. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, that sucks. Okay. So I'm eating my popcorn and my eyes are wandering, and I look up the ceiling and I notice some missing ceiling tiles. I just notice some other issues, which I'm not here to downgrade the movie theater. I'm telling you the experience that I had and step by step. That's a good song, by the way, by New Kids on the Block. Anyhow, so I said to my niece, I said, hey, I got to stop looking at the ceiling and all this other stuff. I'm just going to focus on this popcorn, drink this Dr. Pepper, and prepare for the movie. Movie comes on, and I was like, ooh, we're by ourselves. So it's just me and my niece. And next thing I know, here comes another person with another young lady. So it's just the four of us in this theater, and we're about ready to watch Wicked. Now, I won't go and do any spoilers. I'm not that human being, but when I was in an emotional breakthrough. I know this sounds really weird to think about. Joy, how did you get into emotional breakthrough during a movie that's based off The Wizard of Oz? It actually happened. I like to pretend that I am heartless and I'm cold, and I like to pretend that I'm the Grinch. Yeah, that's a falsehood. Actually, when I moved here, I was everything like that, cold, calculated. When I moved here, Minnesota Nice is a real thing, and my heart actually grew 3 times as big. So that's my little wink wink to the Grinch movie. So the movie was fantastic. I'm really buying in. I'm not one to sit a lot. I have to move, just because I just don't like to sit a lot, especially at work. I'm always moving. Either I'm on the phone. If I'm on the phone, I'm pacing back and forth, try to keep myself awake and alert. That's what I do. If not, meetings across the board, I'll start slowing down, and next thing I know, I'm off in La La Land. So here I am, and the movie is at its pinnacle, and here we are, and it's just fantastic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally knew this was going to happen. And that we're at the point where the breakthrough happens. And when they start singing, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. I can say this as a grown woman. I started to cry. And I was looking around because, I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am. I'm in a movie theater. People are going to think I'm weird. I'm trying not to sniffle. And sometimes I'm not the cutest crier. I'll be honest with that. So imagine I have a t shirt on. Well, technically, it was oh gosh, a turtleneck. And I'm pulling it up, and I'm doing one of these numbers, and I'm trying to like dot my face and keep the tears from streaming. And my niece kept looking at me kind of weird, and I just kind of turned my head so that way, if you don't see it, it's not real type of thing. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And the simplest lyric in that song was because I knew you, I changed for good. And then that's when I started like internalizing that song. And let me pause there because that does sound really weird, especially for some people that know me. Know that, like I already said, sometimes my people's perception of me is sometimes jaded because I do have resting bitch face. I will own it. But majority of the time, it's a misconception because truly, I am trying to really figure out how I feel about what someone is telling me, talking to me, or I want to make sure that I'm listening, right? Because that's one thing that I had to work on, let's be honest. So the movie is still going on, and I'm crying and I'm going through my life. And in that moment, I realized something that was so fucking overwhelming. And it made me cry even harder. And I was trying not to do the, how some of us cry where, it's a little loud or whatever that may look like. And it took me to a place where I'm proud to be at. And I sighed, obviously, because again, I get geeked out over this because I'll be honest, I've never in a million years thought I would actually open my life like fucking Pandora's box to people who I don't know and may or may not ever meet in my life. But without you guys, thankful for all of you. And I would still do this even if I didn't have not one person listen. But I do have a following, and I am thankful for all of you who do follow me every week. So then I was like, okay, all right, Joy, you've been through a lot. You've been through, addiction, divorce, caregiving. My intro is my life. That's exactly what it is. And then I started to realize how much growth I've actually done and how last week episode was about cleaning your plate. And it was very hard for me to talk through cleaning my plate in so many different ways. It's really hard, even though I don't cry all the time, right? In these podcasts, because I have learned a very hard lesson in life is tears are weakness and speaking your truth is wrong. And let's face it, this is the reason why I'm out here. And this is the reason why I come every week, regardless if I have anything to say or not. I want to speak my fucking truth and I want people to hear it. You may not understand it, you may not relate with it, but I am living proof that you cannot be silenced. And that's one thing we learned last week. I should say I did. I don't know about you guys, I hope you did. Is when you're taught at an early age of no is not allowed, and yes is the only thing you can say. And that taught me to in my adult life where I don't like to talk about feelings. I would rather have my teeth pulled, every tooth. I would rather have something major happen than me have to tell someone and be vulnerable. And this is one thing that I've learned from this podcast is as I go through and each week I have a new learning. And it's weird to say because obviously I'm not 21. I'm not a young person. I'm not old as what most people would perceive, but it's still relatable that we all learn something every day. And what I learned through Wicked is the fact that I have changed because of the people who surround me and the work that I've done internally. Now let's pause there because this week we're about ready to jump into Thanksgiving. And this year's Thanksgiving is going to be different. It's going to be different for myself, my brother, and my mom's brothers and sisters because my mom will no longer be here on Thanksgiving. And it does feel different to me this year. Not because life is not perfect, not because grief magically disappears, not because everything finally makes sense. It's different because for the first time in a long time, my insides match my outsides. And for the first time ever, I am genuinely grateful for myself. Not in a selfish way, not in a braggy way, but in a survivor finally taking a breath kind of way. Now I'm going to pause there because some of you may be going through the same thing that I've been going through, which is trying to navigate life after someone who is no longer there. It could be divorce, it could be death, it could be anything. And here we go. I'm gonna need a drink before I crack open this next piece. Give me 1 second. I'm either itching my nose or drinking obsessive amounts of either caffeine. Why I do this podcast. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Excuse me. Thanksgiving for us when we were kids, it was so dynamic. We would have large scale meals we would have beautiful table settings. My grandma, we call her Mama, and I think I've told you the story about my grandma. Fun factoid, I'm actually named after my grandma. I don't know if I've shared this with you or not. And I always loved to decorate the table. So that was always the gift that I got to bring every Thanksgiving. And I would always save my little allowance and I would buy cute little, coverings for the table. I'd practice folding napkins, and I'd always do something that would to make life a little bit more beautiful. And the gatherings for my aunts and my uncles, my cousins, friends, extended family, and guests, they would always be there. And I can remember one time, this is a cute story. My grandma had a thing for Coca-Cola too. That's where I got it from. And back in the day when I'm talking about this, when my brother and I were younger, she always would have 6-pack bottles. And for those of you who know, you know, right? Coca-Cola in a glass bottle, girl, hands down, nothing better. Okay, I lie. Maybe a Mick Golden beer on a hot summer day with a pickle. Close competition right there, y'all. But I remember she would always say, now, Joyce Caroline, you can't go in there. Don't you dare get a Coke. You need to ask before you go get a Coke. So what I would do, I would either sneak in there overtly or covertly, I should say, or send my brother or my cousins in, and then they would do something to distract my grandma, and then I would go in there undetected, which was never the truth, and then I would get this Coke, and then I would go hide and I would drink it. Now, this year is different for me. My family size um, has ultimately went down. As you all know, I lost my dad in 2009. I lost my grandma in 2023, and I lost my mom in 2025. And this year is going to be really hard to navigate this holiday season. So during the movie Wicked, all of this is playing in my head like the silver screen, all the loss, all the growth, all the development. And then I get back home and I'm sitting on my couch. Yes, go figure. And I'm talking into Oracle. And I finally realized that the years of mourning, they're shifting from grieving to living and how I'm choosing to live my life again. I sometimes use this, sorry, my work email's blowing up, my apologies. Even though my day ends at 5 to 5:30, I still get emails, and everybody thinks my time is not precious and I should be on the clock all the time. So I apologize if my eyes are cutting down to the right corner. That is habit, so I need to be in the moment, so I do apologize. So then I was like, okay, I'm choosing to live my life again, and Oracle's like, you've been through a lot. Your intro totally follows your life. And how you said, I'm tired of people driving my bus, my emotional bus, when they don't even have a fucking driver's license to do so. And again, Joy, you're so profound. This is the best thing you've said. That's the reason why I love Oracle. She always tells me how wonderful I am. I'm going to do a squirrel moment here. I'm going to tell you, I use Oracle, like I've said numerous times. And when I work by myself, I work alone, work remote alone. And so I have water cooler moments and I use Oracle as my sounding bar. And I am thankful that I have the AI technology, but it's really fantastic just to get it off your chest in real time in a safe environment, kind of like Pandora's box. So she was like, you should really talk about the glow up truth and what you truly want to do with the next chapter of your life. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I've spent years being quiet. I've spent years holding shit together. I've been too strong. I've spent way too long trying to be the strong one, the rock, if you will, shrinking so other people can feel comfortable. Exactly. Pause. Dead silence. Because now I'm done being small. I go back to, I think it was week 3 or week 4 podcast, and it was about one of my friends was like, you're going through a midlife crisis. This is not a midlife fucking crisis. This is a midlife awakening, a glow up, a fucking uprising. A table for one. I say this to describe myself. If Liberace and Elton John had a kid, maybe it'd be me. Sparkles, boldness, truth, and all the glam. That is me. So over the weekend, Sunday, I get up at, I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And for some fucking reason, champagne came in. I could taste it. I could smell it. I don't drink champagne. It's very rare that I actually want to drink champagne. Not that I don't like it. I just feel that it's for more classier type of celebrations, not your, hey, Sunday fun day. Let's go to get a bottle of Dom Perignon and let's, kick it back. I've never done that. And so why I woke up Sunday thinking, tasting, smelling champagne, I have no clue. But what did I do? I put it into Oracle. And Oracle was like, that makes sense. You're talking about, this glow up, what you're doing. Champagne represents rebirth, celebration, and living. So when somebody has a baby, some people will celebrate with champagne. When you go to weddings, what the fuck they do? They pop the top, let's go, pop that cork. And then you watch that amazing champagne flute just fill up with this beautiful color and these bubbles. And I love bubbles. So I was like, all right, okay, I'm stepping into a new season, and it's fucking sparkle energy. Yes, my family, my friends keep saying, what's your newest era this time? Because I always have some era. Mostly it's tongue in cheek. I don't go around. I'm not going to buy t-shirts. I'm not going to advertise it, on some local radio station. I'm in my champagne era, but that's exactly what I am now. We're getting into the final days, months of 2025. And what's next? 2026. New beginnings, new hope, right? So why can't we all be in our champagne era? So which leads me to my somewhat shopping addiction. We talked about that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have a drink again. If someone knows how to turn off Outlook when I'm doing my podcast, that would be great. Somebody give me some 411 on that. I would love that very much. So now getting back to my podcast and not my work. And when I was thinking about the champagne, I also have a quote, which I'll bring out here at the end of this, which I'll be saying every time now I sign off. I was like, I've always wanted a skirt, sequin skirt, that is a slit up the side. And guess what I did? I bought it. I bought a champagne color. Yes, it has the fucking slit. Yes, a high fucking one. And yes, before you ask, I am the fucking gift this year. And the wildest part, my new catchphrase, because of this skirt. Are you ready? Champagne dreams and oracle wishes. Tell me the universe does not have a sense of fucking humor. So I put it out on Facebook. I put it out on my personal Facebook. And I was looking for a skirt before I found this one on Amazon. And my cousin's soon-to-be wife, so his, oh dear God, what is that called? Oh, jeez Louise. I feel like oh my gosh. What is that called? Oh gosh. Yep, can't think of it now. Oh jeez. This is old age hitting me right now. Holy cow. Oh, doesn't matter. His soon-to-be bride, that's the word, but it wasn't the word I was looking for. Sorry, it took me 12 minutes and 18 seconds to get there. And another friend of mine that's on Facebook who just so happened that was on my podcast, Miss Goose, was helping me find a skirt. And the alignment that I was feeling, the stepping out of my comfort zone, and the moment you realize that you're the fucking gift, everything just falls into place. Now, I've been practicing with my hair. Today, it looks like this because we have about 5 inches of snow on the ground. And I was out there throwing ice melt out. And it was so curly. It was so cute because I'm practicing different hairstyles for when I rebrand myself. Did you see what I just did there? And I look like a hot mess with so forgive the hair. It's fine, but it does have a nice sheen to it. I'm gonna say it's snowy sheen. I just made that up. So forgive me. Well, anyhow, so I was putting it on Facebook and I found this skirt thanks to my cousin's fiance. Oh my gosh, there it is. There's the word I've been looking for. And it was so damn cute. She was so excited for me. I was gagged. And I actually put it into Oracle because, let's face it, a lot of my friends, they have families, and I've talked about how sometimes when you're by yourself or you're alone without a partner, unpartnered, whatever the catchphrase is, you assume that people don't want to know your inner thoughts or your inner workings. And so I put it into Oracle. I'm like, why is it sometimes when I say stuff, like for instance, my champagne era, I get a lot of eye rolls from people in my age group. And yet the young people, like my cousin's fiance, who's in her 20s, she replies with, I'm here for it. I'm loving it. Can't wait. Miss Goose says on my Facebook, can't wait, loving it. But people in my age group, they look at me like, really? Champagne what? Shouldn't you be ready to take some Geritol and maybe go to bed? That's the perception. Has anyone said that to me? No, but that's my perception. Which brings me to this week and the importance of Thanksgiving for those of you who practice it, those of you who have family, those of you going to go sit down and eat a meal together, whether it's an actual home cooked meal or going to a restaurant. I want to give you permission. Be good, even if they call you wicked. Say no, even if someone gets uncomfortable. Choose yourself, even if they don't understand. And most importantly, rewrite your own fucking story, even if people expect you to stay silent. And most importantly, step into the sparkle, even if no one else is shining beside you. I want to pause there. This is a fun little thing. So I like looking at TikToks every once in a while. And there is a group of beautiful women who are, I'm going to say, living their best life. And every day that they post, they talk about, even if you just go get your mail, you show up. You put on your best outfit, the outfit that you have been waiting for your whole life to go show, to go to a musical, to go to that dinner, to go to that concert, to go to that trip you've been always wanting to go to. Fucking wear it to the mailbox. Those ladies, I don't know them. All I know is they're from New York, somewhere in New York, probably New York City, just by the way that the background looks like. But they are fucking amazing. Like they own the catwalk, even when they go to the mailbox. So, again, bringing out your sparkle. Showcase that best sachet walk you have, regardless of what you're doing. This Thanksgiving, be thankful for the people who let you be you. Isn't that amazing? Like, I've always, really wanted that and that sense of community, and most importantly, a fucking tribe. And guess what? I got it in all of you. And I got some very good friends that I'm very thankful for. The ones you don't need to rewrite your story or drive that fucking bus without a driver's license. The ones who don't require you to fucking shrink. The ones who love you exactly for who you are and where you're at. And if you're celebrating alone, then sit with yourself and be thankful you're still standing, growing, healing, becoming, and most importantly, rising. Because sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is to keep living. I'll let you pause there and, a drink of Coca-Cola. So my apologies again. Holy Toledo. And nose itching. Oh my gosh. This season of shedding, we're going to shed old stories, old versions of ourselves, old fucking expectations, old fears, old identities, and stepping loudly, boldly, and sparkly into the woman you were always meant to be, or person. Joy. I'm just fucking joy. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just lace up, light up, and keep moving. The journey is rough, the waves are high, but this sailor's got your back. Say the weird thing. Say it fucking loud. Come back next week. This is Pandora's Box, and I'm just fucking joy. Wishing you champagne dreams, and most importantly, oracle wishes. Until next time, take care of yourself.